It's Rob!
Tony! And I'm Jeff.
We're in gaming.
And that's you.
Hello gamers and welcome back to the inn. I'm Rob, of course, or Warshak if you want to call me that, and we are going to be continuing on the road to legend. We're going to be going from 6 to 5, so we're almost halfway there. And boy oh boy, when we hit 5, the real journey begins, because that is when we can no longer get the bonus stars, which gives us, 2 more stars than what normally we get. So I would definitely say from 5 to legend is where the grind really starts. And I believe we'll probably just play Control Warrior from 6 to 5, just because I feel like Control Warrior does very well right now. So we're going against a warlock, could be Zoo, could be Reno, could be Handlock, we don't know. Gonna keep the Armor Smith. It's pretty much good against any kind of, I would say if it's Zoo or Reno, Armor Smith is fine. If it's Handlock, it's not really that great. We're looking for like Executes and Big Game Hunter if it's Handlock, but we haven't really seen a lot of Handlocks lately. Also, for the deck list, we've noticed a couple cards have changed depending on, where I am in the rank, and probably just gonna enter in here. Where I am in the ranks and who I'm going against, the deck list might change a little bit. If we notice, we'll have 2 shield blocks in this deck list. Sometimes I only have 1. Most of the time I only have 1. Armor Smith is probably our best bet here. We could have equipped the War Axe, but I don't really want him to think I have the War Axe yet. You normally want to, put creatures on the board first. He assumes you don't have a weapon. He plays something like a flame imp, and then you can just smack it in the face. So we can just armor up, hit face for 1, and end our turn. And the reason being, if we would have equipped our weapon there, and he doesn't play a creature, then we missed out on 2 armor. Okay, so he's playing Molten Giant. He's playing the Handlock. So we do have the Execute, so we can get rid of the first Giant pretty easily. So I'm assuming...
Strike.
Yeah, we'll just smash into it with our Armor Smith. Didn't get a lot of value out of there, but taking out an 8/8 is pretty important. We gotta kill 3 more of those giants left, and we'll throw down the weapon. Alright, so he's gonna tap. Okay, he's had both the giants off the bat. This isn't good. We have no way to get rid of this giant. So I'm assuming we'll just shield block, see what we can draw into. Nice! Now we can coin into the Big Game Hunter. Kill off the second giant, and then swing for 3. Wow, that was a really nice top deck on our end, guys. I didn't we needed either a shield slam, an execute, and or big game. Those are pretty much the only cards. Maybe even a brawl, because the next turn he could have put in like 2 or 3 cards on the field and we could have got lucky. But for the most part, that was pretty lucky top deck. From here, we don't really have a good way to get rid of that Void Collar besides like throwing on a Death Spite. But then we won't even be able to deal with what comes out of that. So I think we swing face for 3 over and then put a quick Death Fight, armor up, and end turn. So we'll be able to take care of that next turn. We didn't have to kill it right away, to be honest. We don't have an answer to whatever it brings out. So why would we force it to bring out something we may not have the answer to? He may not even have the demon to bring it out in his hand. He could be bluffing it, but you never really know. So there's the Belcher to protect it. And there's really no way to get past that Belcher right now either. There's Brawl, which is going to be nice. So I guess we could... There'd be no point to attack it because it's not going to kill it. And if we're going to Brawl next turn anyway, that does, it's just going to kill it off anyway, maybe. So I guess we just shield block. Let's see if we can get Emperor. When there's no good play to make, I don't think we make a play at all. I think we just armor up and end turn. We've got a 44 health, so he's pushing 6 damage right now. We're not really in a state of which we need to react immediately. So in our hopes, we can just fill up the field and then we can just get a nice Brawl off. So hopefully he plays into the... Oh god. Never mind, Brawl's not going to work with Loatheb out, but he only played Loatheb and no other card. So we could Emperor. We got some value in our hand. Armor up and end turn again. Hopefully he'll use some spells to kill off Emperor. Maybe he'll go... If he kills off his Loatheb with our Emperor, that's not as... Actually, he could... I see him, killing off it with a Void Collar, maybe, an Imp Implosion. If he runs Imp Implosion. I don't know. But Emperor passive seems like the right move here. I mean, we've got some decent cards in our hand, so it's not like it wouldn't be getting value. I mean, I wish I had, maybe Sarah, Alexstrasza, but having, a Death Spite in our hand, the Hellscream, a Belcher, a Bash, those are all pretty good cards. Plus, if we didn't play anything and we passive, he knows he'll be playing into Brawl. So we have to play something. So he played the Twidlet Drake. Maybe another card? Another creature? If he just completely goes face here, that'd be the best thing. And a Defender of Argus, so he's gonna make a. Oh wow, he's gonna bring out another demon, another caller, and he's gonna Mortal Coil. So he actually didn't really kill off anything. He actually summoned a new demon. So he still hasn't hit through our armor yet. We can brawl here. We're not, you know, confined by the Loatheb. Hopefully, ideally, we want the Defender of Argus to live, or maybe even the Belcher. Okay, and he has no demon, so Void Caller didn't bring anything out. Wow, we got really lucky there. All right, so we just Belcher, no, we can't even pass it if we Belcher. But I'm pretty sure we can just Belcher here safely and end our turn. He's wasted. We've gone through 2 giants already, both Void Callers, a Loatheb. So, I mean, a Twidlet Drake, so we've actually made quite a dent in the creatures he has in his deck. I mean, handlocks only have so many big creatures before they just run out of steam. Because most of the time, if you can summon multiple 8/8s that early on in the game, oh, there's another giant, you can't really get rid of it. But, I mean, in our case, we were able to top deck the big game, which was nice, and we had an execute off the bat. So from here, there's really, again, not a good play to get rid of that giant. We need to get past the Sledge Belcher to hit the giant with our weapon to begin even trying to try to get rid of it. So I might just pop the Belcher and then Baron. It'll kill the 1/2 off the Baron. It'll force him to either cast a spell like Siphon Soul, or smack his giant into it, or maybe even silence his Watcher, and then he'll another Mortal Coil it. He already used 1, so we can assume he's not going to have the second one. So we're going to swing into this, and it really doesn't matter what we do with our slime. They're both going to die, but I'm just going to attack a slime anyway. I'm aggressive like that. Fuck your slime. So, and then we'll throw it on the passive and end our turn. It's going to kill off both slimes. It's going to put 2 damage on everybody else. Brings him down to 11, allowing us to push lethal with Hellscream next turn, which is obviously a good thing to do because the Whirlwind from the Despite allows Hellscream to proc. So that's 14 damage. I guess he could heal or play a taunt here, which would be bad. But then we also have Bash. So that's a good amount of damage. So he healed up to 18, or 19, so he's out of range with our Hellscream Bash combo, and he just put himself back in range. So because he just tapped right there, he just gave us the win. Not that we couldn't have killed his field anyway with our cards in hand, but I mean, you had to expect, I mean, the Despite Hellscream combo, I guess he just didn't see the Bash coming, but I mean, it didn't even need Bash. We have a weapon too, we have 10 mana. We can shovel out a decent amount of damage here. I guess it didn't even matter if he would have tapped. Because we had the War Axe in our hand too, which will only cost 1 deal to the Emperor. So that was a pretty nice win there. It's a good amount of burst damage for a Control Warrior. Normally, Control Warrior, you don't win. I mean, you win a lot with Hellscream Despite combination, but you don't win as many games as you do by just having field control and just either outvaluing your opponent till your opponent literally has like no cards in hand and your field has some decent creatures on it, and or you just have so much armor by the time the game is, you know, wrapping up, they just can't get through it due to your True Heart. But you will win a good amount of games due to Hellscream. So we're going against a mage here. If he's playing a tempo mage, he's got a good advantage over us. We're going to keep the War Axe, put away the other 2. And then I suppose if he's playing Freeze Mage, he's an instant lose. Like, it's just sad how bad Freeze Mage just does against Warrior, because we just keep armoring up every turn. And then their burst damage from Alexstrasza. Alexstrasza only goes for the health. It doesn't do armor. So he actually has to get through the armor and then more health. So if he is playing a Freeze Mage, we automatically win. Tempo Mage, he has a good possibility of beating us. And then I guess, what else is there? There's Echo, which I haven't seen played in a long time. And there's Mech Mage, which we haven't seen either. So we're going to end turn here. So obviously, if we'll figure out what he's playing pretty early on. If he's playing Mech, we'll know almost right away. If he's playing Tempo, we'll know probably around turn 3 if Flamewaker comes out. And if he's playing Freeze, we probably won't know until like turn 4. But if it's not the other 2, then obviously it'll be Freeze. But then it could be Echo. You never know if it's Freeze or Echo. And then, obviously, I keep saying obviously, but it's not obvious, because that's why I'm telling you guys. We armored up instead of throwing out the War Axe. That is because we do not want him to know we have the War Axe. If we would equip it, there's always a chance it could get Acidic Swamp oozed, and that is just bad. Obviously, on our... Why do I keep saying obviously? Turn 3, we're going to throw out the Alkalite again. Turn 4, we can throw out the Despite and or War Axe and armor up, depending on what he does here. And the Arcane Intellect tells me he's probably playing Freeze Mage, which is a good win for us. And we're going to attack with the Despite, or we did attack with the Despite, because we have the War Axe in our hand. And the Despite Death Rattle will be able to hit our Alkali of Pain to allow us to draw for an extra card. So what is he going to play, like a Mad Scientist? A Loot Hoarder? So he's going to use a Frostbolt, which is kind of weird because normally mages would like to keep their Frostbolts, and then he might think I'm Patron, though. So he played the Novice Engineer, so we definitely know we're playing against probably a Freeze Mage, which is almost an auto win for us. As long as we don't either disconnect or I lose consciousness, I'm pretty sure we're going to be just fine. So as long as I armor up every turn, I don't lose board control, which his deck isn't supposed to do anyway. And again, I don't lose some sort of consciousness or like an arrow comes out of the side of my wall and shoots me through the head. I think we'll be alright in this game. Who knows, man? Who knows? I could get like, what is it called? Swatted, where like an entire SWAT team comes in my house because someone made like a false bomb alert or something. I've seen a few people. I was watching Twitch and all of a sudden, like, I don't even want to. So me and my friends are watching Twitch one day, and like this kid has been joking around about how he was gonna get swatted for a while, but then he actually got swatted. And he's like sitting at his computer, and then you just hear a big bang, and it's just like, oh man, it was crazy. Anyway, we're just gonna there's no other move but block here. See what we can get. Emperor is nice, but we can't play him, and we'll swing for 3. Let's pop the secret. Okay. It was either going to be the Ice Barrier or the Ice Block, but I assumed it was going to be an Ice Barrier just right now because him playing an Ice Block, it could get Kezan Mystic. Not that I play that card, but you never really want to use some of your best secrets early on just in case I'm running a card that can take a secret. But I mean, who knows? He's rank 5, so you could not think I'm playing Mystic. Who knows? So we're going to play our Emperor here and then obviously kill off his Emperor, and I don't know why I keep freaking saying obviously because it just... I need to stop doing that. I mean, it was obvious we had to kill them, but some players may not, you know, it may not be so obvious, and then they'll feel bad because, you know, I never saw it, but he keeps saying obvious, and if it's not obvious, then I feel bad. I'm not trying to make you guys feel bad. I'm trying to make you guys feel good. Feels good, man. Okay. So there was a question on our comments, and it says, why do I take sips of 2 different... Double Doomsayer. I'll answer the question in a second. And a secret. Okay, so this could be the turning point at which we may be playing Echo Mage, because if we kill a Doomsayer and that's actually a duplicate, this could be bad. But if it's not, then this could be good. So we're going to attack into it with our Emperor, swing into our weapon. If it's a duplicate, bad things are going to happen to our future because he's going to be able to maintain huge board control due to having 2 more of those. If it's not, which it isn't, we're going to kill off this one. Can actually just play Dr. Boom in passive, which is very, very nice, and end our turn. So now Hellscream's going to cost a whopping 6 mana, man. And then Baron at 5, free execute, and 2 bashes that are reduced. I think this game is ours. And we have 11 armor, and 2 huge creatures on the board, and especially an Emperor, which he needs to kill. Like, him not killing the Emperor there, I know it feels bad to, like, maybe waste a Fireball on him, but just getting the value out of Emperor multiple turns, especially in a Control Warrior, is huge. As we can see by us being able to Dr. Boom and passive. So it looks like he's going to live another turn. We could play the Armor Smith, but then we'd be playing into Flame Strike if he had it. But if he had Flame Strike, wouldn't he have used it? Why would he use Blizzard? Well, I guess Flame Strike wouldn't have killed him and wouldn't have froze him, and he would have taken a lot of damage. So we definitely need to kill the Loot Hoarder, because if we don't, it's just he's going to attack into our Emperor and then ping it off for 1. So I think bashing the Loot Hoarder is fine. Using the bash with the more mana is better here because we're not going to play any other card. And I think we just passive and end. We could have played Hellscream, but again, we don't want to overextend on the board when we haven't seen a Flame Strike yet. We have seen the double Doomsayer, so he's not going to like Doomsayer Frost Nova. I have a lot of new Freeze Mages aren't playing Frost Nova, and I don't know why. The card is so good. So it looks like he's going to use his burst now? Yeah, so he's just all going ham right now. Is he going to make it past the armor? Alright, there's double Ice Lance. He's used his second Fireball, or the Frostbolt. There's a Fireball on the Dr. Boom. So he only has Archmage and a Fireball left in his deck for burst. Maybe a Pyroblast and Alexstrasza. So he doesn't have much. I think Do we armor smith here? If he had played, okay, never mind, he just gave up. So that's what I was saying, like the freeze mage against a control warrior is just one of those matchups where you'll win every time. It just feels bad because the other guy, obviously, he's playing freeze mage because he's going against a lot of secret paladins, and secret paladin versus freeze mage, that's a really good matchup for the freeze mage. But I mean, if you just get the unfortunate, if you're playing freeze mage and you go against a control warrior, you might as well just concede. Well, we'll find out he's playing control warrior first. Some warriors are playing like some super aggro bullshit now, where it's like, now Cancer has flooded from the hunters, and they flooded to the shamans, and then it went to the paladins, or it went to the paladins first, and then the shamans, and now the Cancer is flowing through the warriors now too. So just be careful, make sure you don't concede too early, but for the most part, I think we'll keep Brawl against this shaman. It's a little greedy to keep a 5-drop when you know your opponent is playing super Cancer, but if we can't control the board and it's turn 5 and Brawl's our only last resort, then I guess we have to take that risk. I normally always keep Brawl when I know they're playing face. Maybe not against a hunter. So Armor Smith is great on turn 2. We have the Alkalite on turn 3, and we have the Execute if he plays like a Totem Golem that we can't get rid of with our Alkalite and or Armor Smith. So what I was saying back to the comment, ooh, Leper is going to be nice to kill. So we're going to Armor Smith. The comment said, why do I take sips of like, let's say like this drink here, and then maybe I have like this drink here, and then there's another possibility of this drink here. And that is because depending on where I am and what I'm drinking, some of them are energy drinks, some of them are vodka, some of them is rum, some of it's coffee, some of it's water. So it all depends on where I am and how I'm feeling. But most of the time it's a mixture of different drinks, and I don't like mixing them all together, so I'll take small sips of like, I'll put them in like a line and rotate them. And it sucks because if we were at turn 4 right now, we could bash and shield slam both of those and clear field with our Armor Smith and a Leper, but we can't, so I think we just play the Alkalite and end our turn. Yes, it sucked. I was like looking at Brawl, looking at, so we'd not Brawl, but we'd bash the 2-3, it would give us 3 armor, we'd shield slam the other 2-3, and then we'd Armor Smith into the Leper, which would have been freaking perfect. But I guess we're just going to have to hold off on that combo until this turn. So he's going to swing for 6 damage, not too bad. This is, again, if we wouldn't have any board control, Brawl would be nice next turn. So we're going to kill off those 2, like I said. We're going to swing our Alkalite into his 1-3 to see what we draw first. Probably nothing like too great because we can't even play it anyway. Oh, War Axe, that's great. And we're going to gain 1 armor and kill off his Leper Gnome like this. From here, I can assume he's going to make that Tunnel Trog some crazy, ridiculous amount of attack because his ability is just fantastic. Okay, Lava Burst for 5. He's going to do 8 damage. He's going to put us down to 17. Alright, so I think we're going to execute the Tunnel Trog, equip the War Axe, armor up, and swing for 2. Again, we could have used our War Axe to attack the Tunnel Trog and keep the Execute, which we would have done in almost any other type of game, but we do not want to take any more face damage than possible when going against the Aggro Shamans. The Aggro Shamans can do an astonishing amount of damage in 1 turn. As you've seen through my Aggro Shaman, I don't know how much damage we were able to pull off in some of those turns. It was like 18 to 20 damage in 1 turn with like 6 mana and no cards on board, so you can just... It's scary. So we're gonna kill off his totem here and end our turn. Actually, we can swing for, yeah, I think swinging for 3 is pretty good. And then this sets us up so not next turn but the following turn we can win, because next turn we're gonna play the Shield Maiden and then we'll be able to swing for 7 and that brings him down to 18, and then the following turn we'll be able to swing for about 14. If we hadn't swung with our weapon there, I suppose it wouldn't be as close. Alright, so Doomhammer is like the best card ever in his situation. So we're definitely going to have to... Okay, so Druid passive is bad for us, Hunter passive is bad for us, and Warlock passive is bad for us. So we picked the Druid passive, which is not as good as the Hunter, but it's still good. So we're going to armor up, play Shield Maiden. We're going to kill off his 1-3 here, but we're actually going to swing all our creatures into it to gain as much armor as possible. Some would have just attacked it with the 5-5 and you would only gain 1 armor, but in this situation I give 2 armor, and we're not going to win this through burst damage, guys. We're going to win this matchup through either him running out of steam or us having so many cards on the board we're going to be able to deal with like his entire life points in 1 turn. There is no, you know, like you have to play around huge damage like this. We're about to take 12 damage through 1 card. And that is because the Druid passive gives his Doomhammer +1 attack, which makes it do 3, which means you can do 6 damage instead of 4. And now he's, oh man. Is he going to have a crackle? No crackle. Alright. This is why I play 2 shield blocks right now. So shield block. Alright, passive, throw down the Armor Smith. We're going to swing with everything to face, and if he can do 18 damage in 1 turn, he wins, and if he can't, we win the following turn. So if he has either another Rock Biter, that's going to probably be game. So the determining factor in this game is if he has another Rock Biter. If he has another Rock Biter. That's pretty much what it boils down to. He has 18 damage to a Shaman on turn 8 with 8 mana. That's nothing. Here's 6 damage to the face, so he only actually has to do 12 more. If he just attacks here and he doesn't Rock Biter, then we have a good chance to win unless he has like, even if a Lava Burst Crackle, yeah, it would have to be, no, because that's max 12, no. That's max 11, because Crackle only hits for 6 max. Unless he had a totem out, but he doesn't. So he's actually going to kill off creatures here, which pretty much guarantees us the game. Yep, so we're going to get 2 armor there. He's going to kill off Emperor, which is just going to give us another armor there. So now we're at 21. And we're pretty fine. I'm not really worried about dying anymore because of that play. So we're going to Dr. Boom, passive, and then swing with everything. And, okay, we just won. All right, nice. So we are now rank 5. We are halfway to legend. Honestly, now the real grind starts. Well, actually 2 stars into 5, which is nice. So it's like, yay, I'm at 5, and now it's like we're halfway. But at the same time, when you're going for legend and you hit 5, that's like really when the real grind starts. Again, because I mentioned you don't get the win streak bonus, and this is where you start going against some of the, I don't want to say really good players, because you obviously could find some bad players around, you know, rank 3 to 5. But this is where you start playing against players that, you know, they know their shit, and it'll be interesting. So, with all of this said, of course, thanks for watching, guys. Expect the next episode to be out shortly. It's getting to the end of the month, so I can't really lag on these videos anymore. So, again, as always, I'm Warshak, and happy whatever the hell day it is.